Well, I guess it's time for another personal share. I don't know what's going on, but ooh, there's just been a lot of expansion here. Anyway, so I think my last one was talking about the love bliss and what appears to be, oh, yeah, the 4-inch gap filling. And when I'm talking about the Kundalini fulfilling the 4-inch gap, connecting with the cosmic consciousness. And then the love bliss. Did I say that? um, yeah, I don't know what's happening, but it's like the love bliss has expanded into pure being, which I can't even I can't even describe the feeling of pure being. Anyway, before I get there, so I think well, not very many people watch the video about the God calls, the gateways of destiny, where we're focusing on the Gene Keys cities, those frequencies only, in order to ground these cities onto the planet. Well, we've been doing that, and it's highly, highly successful. Successful meaning it truly works. I was downloaded a protocol. Anyway, in order to embody or to be a vessel for these frequencies, and it freaking works. So anyway, so we have been doing that, and last week was Selflessness, Gene Key 27, which happens to be my pearl. And well, when working with this, the first thing that it showed me was where the self, the individual self in me, was still attached, still trying to get something out of relationships, or was still had wrong thinking, me thinking in relationships. And so it brought up a fury of things, which was beautiful. And a little bit of a like encounter, a little drama between some friends, but it actually all ended up beautifully. And yeah, so the drama was meant for both sides, but it ended in love and more open-hearted communication. But I really saw where there was still the little me, I, working from a divided hurt self, right? A separate self. And so I really took that on board. I did my work, blah, 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 did the protocol for selflessness, and things started to shift. And I knew that the shift was happening based on the reaction or response from the other person and how it all smoothed out. But what happened? Let me see. Oh, and it was showing me other areas where there was still little self working in the background. So working with this protocol, doing my thing. And then, yeah, it was several days, right? And I was just standing at the kitchen counter, and all of a sudden, like I was just I like hit a pause. It just happens. You're doing stuff and suddenly you just go like that. And this voice from outside of me, but definitely me, not my voice. It was a male voice, but I guess I kind of have a male voice, just came in, and it just landed like a little liquid honey and said, "It is no longer about you." And I understood what was being said on several different levels. But what I felt was something, what I felt was like an embodiment. I wasn't using these words at the time, but I know this is what happened. An embodiment of selflessness or pure being. And it's no longer about you meant that the focus on this, the endless processing and working on the individual ego self, can be relaxed. That we don't have to focus on me, fixing me, that enough has been shed. Of course, not everything, right? But that it doesn't have to be this constant, oh, hello, that's beautiful in the background, working on self, focus on self, that I can now have that there's I don't want to sound arrogant isn't the right word, but this that it's no longer about the individual ego in me. There's And it was a message to the individual self in me saying it's no longer about you, and that you are to now take this subordinate role. And it agreed, or I agreed, or whatever. Anyway, ever since then, I cannot begin to tell you what I'm feeling in this. What I'm feeling is pure being. Now I can, I go do my normal daily activities that I'm kind of focused up here, like we all are doing our stuff. But the moment I turn inwards, just in an instant, I feel this, it's almost unbearable, this pure being merged with everything, but I can feel like it's electricity and wavy and pulsing. And that's what I remember now. I got the vision that it's feeling my entire beingness, and that many of the energy channels are flowing. Oh, and it just creates, you could just feel like and I can feel at the same time like a thickness that I know is the individual self, but also that it's merged with the ocean. I'm feeling the wave and the ocean at the same time. I can't even explain it to you. It is beyond bliss. And this and this embodiment of selflessness actually happened. I believe it was on my birthday, which was last Friday. And and for the first time in 59 years, did I feel it was the best day of my life. And it won't end there. I feel like I've fully now, I'm a true, complete, and whole being. And while the personality is still doing its thing, perhaps even causing a little drama, it's insignificant because there is no identification with it. And all I feel is pure beingness. And my birthday was the best day so far of my life. And it wasn't because anything spectacular happened, although there was, yeah. But for the first time, it was so beautiful, number one, because of that embodiment. But at the same time, I could feel the love. I could feel and accept the love from the beautiful beings that are in my life. I have a handful of the most extraordinary, beautiful people in my life, which is also a reflection of what is happening here. But for the first time, getting rid of a lot of ego self or separation or identification, let's say, with now being fully identified as pure being or embodying it. I don't even know what the right words are. I could accept their love, their liking me, because I feel whole and like myself. It's not even a matter of liking myself. These are weird words, but it's like, the gratitude. I wish I would have made the video then because I was really in it. Now yeah. The gratitude was overwhelming. And actually that's how I feel every day when I just kind of sit and I'm not talking in my mind. The gratitude from the universe is overwhelming. I never thought that it would be possible to live and feel this way. Now, tomorrow may be different. Everything could fall apart. I don't think so. Not that I won't have rough times ahead, but this is an internal feeling. This is my beingness. I feel my full beingness alive, still expanding. And I just never thought it would be possible to feel perhaps what my teacher or other teachers out there have expressed, because this personality, this psyche that was developed was so damaged and so full of hate and rage and not wanting to be here and jealousy and hating myself. Absolute disdain and disgust for this being, this whatever. I never thought, like, anyway, so why am I telling you all this? I'm sharing this because it can absolutely happen. It happened to me, it could happen to you. And I didn't do anything special, and I didn't go to gurus or, you know, um, I didn't follow a guru, and I didn't sit there and blah, blah, blah. Not to say that they're not important. They absolutely are. Their teachings are important, but um, it really takes, obviously, it is the journey of Kundalini. I would not be here without activation of Kundalini. That is such an important part. And it will happen on her own terms. But it is, if you have that longing inside of you, that Kundalini has sparked, that longing for awakening, for truth, for oneness, then do your work. Good. Get some systems, do gene keys, whatever it is. Start taking responsibility, do your inner work, and absolutely acknowledge and work with the trauma in your body. You have to do body work, somatic healing for traumas, even if they're tiny little, you think they're insignificant. They're in your body and they're blocking you. You have to do that and get body work done, massage or whatever. Do that. And I think the biggest, obviously, meditation. Yes, you can do contemplation, but just simple, quiet meditation. You don't even need, you don't need Kriya. You don't need TM. Just go within and be as quiet as possible. Let the mind run. It's fine. 5 minutes, 20 minutes a day, every other day, twice a week. Do it. And definitely the most important thing, particularly if you are going through Kundalini awakening, is find your support person. I don't know how I would have made it without Danny Antman. She has been my healer, my Kundalini guide, and person who has supported me this whole time to confirm everything that I was feeling. She just confirmed everything that was happening. And that is so important if you're on this journey alone or your family doesn't understand you. Yeah. And I did say, and in our last meeting, Danny did say to me, "You're ready." You're ready. You're ready to do this yourself. Yeah. And while I'm not sure I want, how big of a role, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I know that that is part of my dharma, and it's the natural thing I do with people that just come to me. They're drawn to me for some reason. I don't know. And I just sit and listen to them. My friends, I listen and listen and listen, and it is so healing for them. Not because I say anything special or anything, but having there is some wisdom here. So anyway, I'm not really selling this, but yeah, if you need help, I'm also here. Um, but it's wonderful to kind of have that like confirmation from a teacher or somebody who's well on their path to say, yeah, not that you're complete, but you're far enough along, you can go it alone and you can do what I do. So anyway, this is quite a long video for that. But it's also confirmation that that protocol that I got about working with the spine and all this sort of stuff, really, it freaking works. Okay. Oh, yes, that's also what I wanted to share. Um, this embodiment of selflessness being, is that what I want to share? Yeah, being my pearl. I had the insight that and this will only resonate with Gene Keys people if you're out there listening, but the whole Gene Keys, the Venus sequence talks about, the attraction sphere is like your astral body, and the whole Venus sequence is the astral body and what you attract into your life. And it struck me, where the insight came, that at a certain point in your awakening journey, once your consciousness expands far enough or awakens into higher levels of the koshas, the 5 sheaths, when you move out of like the astral realm and you enter into causal body and beyond, causal body and beyond, then what happens is you're kind of the astral body goes away, your attraction sphere for the astral body goes away, and it becomes the pearl. Then your pearl becomes your attractor field, which I think is beautiful. I think it is related to Jupiter. So it's like your Jupiter moment. It's Hebrew 22, kind of like completion, but not completion, right? Yeah, so that's interesting. So and why do they call it the blue? Why do they call it the pearl sequence and it's the color blue? Because it relates to, I might have to make a separate video about this, the blue pearl, which people see when their life, and I have seen the blue pearl since, I don't know, 2012. Anyway, I still see it. It has blue. I still see, it's like it's opaque. I see it quite often, even now. And behind it, it has like the fire white behind it. It's not a solid blue pearl anymore. But anyway, the pearl sequence with its blue spheres represents the blue pearl, and that represents having your consciousness awaken to at least the causal body level or beyond, into the 4th state or Turiya, or selflessness. Anyway, I think that's it. Oh yeah, and the synchronicity on my birthday, talk about the universe going, yeah, we're going to synchronize some events here. Is that on my birthday, even though I did nothing special, but just just was talking with friends, and it just was beautiful. But during that whole day, there were people working in the attic. Orkin they were in the attic making lots of noise, but what they were doing was cleaning out all the old insulation and some rat stuff. Oh, it's so exciting. Cleaning it all up, sanitizing it, and putting in like tons more insulation. And it struck me a couple days later, like, oh my God, what a metaphor for what happened this week. That my attic was cleaned out, sanitized, and all new stuff put in. I mean, yep, on my birthday, my attic was cleaned out of its rats. So anyway, thank you for listening. Bye.